Hey, my reactor, so I'm back. Had to take a little break, but I'm trying to get over this book. Chapter 3, The Road Kindred. A couple of Kevin's friends came over on the 4th of July and tried to get us to go to the Rose Bowl with them for the fireworks. Kevin wanted to go more to get out the house than for any other reason, I suspected. I told him to go ahead, but he wouldn't go without me. As I turned out, as it turned out, there was no chance for me to go anywhere. As Kevin's friends left the house, I began to feel dizzy. I stumbled toward my bag, fell before I reached it, crawled towards it, grabbed it just as Kevin came in from saying goodbye to his friends. Dana, he was saying, we can't stay cooped up in this house any longer waiting for something that isn't. He was gone. Instead of laying on the floor of my living room, I was laying on the ground in the sun, almost directly over a hill of large black ants. Before I could get up, someone kicked me, fell on me heavily. I had the breath knocked out of me for a moment. Dana, said Rufus' voice, what the hell are you doing here? I looked up, saw him sprawled across me where he had fallen. We got up just as something began to bite me. The ants, probably. I brushed myself off quickly. I said, what are you doing here? He sounded angry. He looked no older than he had been when I last seen him, but something was wrong with him. He looked haggard and weary. Looked as though it hadn't been too long since he slept last. Looked as though it would be even longer before he was able to sleep again. I don't know what I'm doing here, Ruth. I never do until I find out what's wrong with you. He stared at me for a long moment. His eyes were red and under them were dark smudges. Finally, he grabbed me by the arm and led me back the way he had come. We were on the plantation not far from the house. Nothing looked changed. I saw two of Nigel's sons grasping, rolling around on the ground. They were the two I had been teaching, and they were no bigger than they had been when I saw them last. Ruth, how long has I been gone? He didn't answer. He was leading me towards the barn I saw, and apparently, I wasn't going to learn anything until I got there. He stopped at the barn door and pushed me through it. He didn't follow me in. I looked around, seeing very little at first, and my eyes became accustomed to the dimmer light. I turned to the place where I had been strung up and whipped, and jumped back in surprise when I saw that someone was hanging there, hanging by the neck, a woman, Alice. I stared at her, not believing, not wanting to believe. I touched her and felt her flesh was cold and hard. The dead gray face was ugly and deaf, as it had never been in life. The mouth was open, the eyes were open and staring. Her head was bare and her hair loose and short like mine. She had never liked to tie it up the way other women did. It was one of the things that had made us look even more alike. The only two consistencies bare-headed woman on the place. Her dress was dark red and her apron clean and white. She wore shoes that Rufus had made specifically for her, not the rough, heavy shoes or boots other slaves wore. It was as though she had dressed up and combed her hair and bent. I wanted her down. I looked around, saw the rope had been tied to the wall peg, thrown over a beam. I broke my fingernails trying to untie it until I remembered my knife. I got it from my bag and cut Alice down. She felt stiffly like something that would break when it hit the floor, but she landed without breaking, and I took the rope from her neck and closed her eyes. For a moment, I just sat with her, holding her head and crying silently. Eventually, Rufus came in. I looked up at him, and he looked away. Did she do this to herself? I asked. Yes, to herself. Why? He didn't answer. Ruth. He shook his head slowly from side to side. Where are her children? He turned and walked out the barn. I straightened Alice's body in her dress and looked around for something to cover her up with. There was nothing. I left the barn and went across an expanse of grass to the cookhouse. Sarah was there chopping meat with that frightening speed and coordination of hers. And I had told her once that it always looked as though she was about to cut off a finger or two. And she had laughed. She still had all 10. Sir, there was such a difference in our ages now that everyone else my age called her Aunt Sir. I knew it was a title of respect in this culture, and I respected it too. But I couldn't quite manage Aunt any more than I could manage Manny. She didn't seem to mind. She looked up. Dana, girl, what are you doing back here? What Mr. Ruth done now? I'm not sure, but sir, Alice is dead. Sarah put down her clever and sat on the bench next to the table. Oh Lord, poor child, he found and killed her. I don't know, I said. I went over and sat beside her. I think she did it to herself, hung herself. I just took her down. He did it, she hissed. Even if he didn't put the rope on her, he drove her to it. He sold her babies. I frowned. Sarah had spoken clearly enough, loudly enough, but for a moment, I didn't understand. Joe and Hager, his children, what he care about that? But he did care. He was going to. Why would he do such a thing? She runs off, Sarah faced me. You must have known she was going. You and her were like sisters. I didn't need the reminder. I got up feeling that I had to move around, distract myself, or I would cry again. You sure? You sure fought like sisters, said Sir. Always fussing at each other, stomping away from each other, coming back right after you left. She knocked the devil out of the field hands who was running you down. Had she? She would. Insulting me was her prerogative. No trespassing. I paced from the table to the heart to the small work table. Back to Sir. Dana, where is she? In the barn. Hell, give her a big funeral. Sarah shook her head. It's funny, I thought. She was finally settling down with him, getting not to mind so much. If she was, I don't think she would have forgiven herself for it. Sarah shrugged. When she ran, did he beat her? Not much. About much as old master Tom whipped you last time. That's gentle spanking, yes. The whipping didn't matter much, but when he took away her children, I thought she was going to die right there. She was screaming and crying and carrying on. Then she got sick and I had to take care of her. Sarah was silent for a moment. I didn't want to even be close to her when Mr. Tom sold my babies. I just wanted to lay down and die. Seeing her like that, she was brought all that back. Curry came in then, her face wet with tears. She came up to me without surprise and hugged me. You know, I asked. She nodded, then made her sign for white people and pushed me towards the door. I went. I found Rufus at his desk in the library, fondling a handgun. He looked up and saw me just as I was about to withdraw. It had occurred to me certainly that this was where he had been headed when he called me. What had his call been then? A subconscious desire for me to stop him from shooting himself? Come in, Dana. His voice sounded empty and dead. I pulled my old Windsor chair up to his desk and sat down. How could you do this, Ruth? He didn't answer. Your son and your daughter? How could you sell them? I didn't. That stopped me. I had been prepared for almost any other answer or no answer, but a denial, but. She ran away. I know. We were getting along, you know. You were here. It was good. Once, when you were gone, she came to my room. She came on her own. Ruth. Everything was all right. I even went on with Joe lessons. Me. I told her I would free both of them. She didn't believe you. She wouldn't put anything into writing. You wouldn't put anything to writing. I would have. I shrugged. Where are the children, Ruth? In Baltimore with my mother's sister. Or why? To punish her, scare her, to make her see what could happen if she didn't, if she tried to leave me. Oh, God, but you could have at least brought them back when she got sick. I wish I had. Why didn't you? I don't know. I turned away from him in disgust. You killed her, just as though you had put the gun to her head and fired. He looked at the gun, put it down quickly. What are you going to do now? Now you're going to get a coffin, a decent one, not just a homemade box. and he'll hire a minister to come out tomorrow. I mean, what are you going to do for your son and your daughter? He looked at me helplessly. 2 certificates of freedom, I said. You owe them that at least. You deprived them of their mother. Damn you, Dana. Stop saying that. Stop saying I killed her. I just looked at her. Why did you leave me? If you hadn't gone, she might not have run away. I rubbed my face where he had hit me when I begged him not to sell sand. You didn't have to go. You were turning into something I didn't want to stay near. Silence. 2 certificates of freedom was all legal. Raised on free. That's the least you can do. I'll be back with chapter 4, y'all. And please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back soon. We almost finished. This is the last chapter. And then we'll be at the end. And y'all be right back.